Okay. All right, here we go. Got my notes. Friday reflections from September 19th, 2025. Start with coils. So questions are like, how do you make them round and not flat? How do you make them stronger? How do you make them even? Those are all just, it's technique and it takes a lot of practice. If they start to get flat, you can put it on its tall end and push it down so it's more square and then roll from there. Even coils, you got to pay attention to like where you put the pressure down or where you're putting pressure down. I don't know how you make them stronger. If you're talking about building up a wall, thicker coils to start are going to be a little bit maybe stronger because the way that I teach you, like you're scoring the inside and making the inside smooth. So if you start with a thinner coil, you have less clay to work with. So maybe that's what you're talking about. Emphasizing the shape of the coil, that comes in with refining, and I made a video earlier this week about it, or last week about it. Someone pointed out that they're quick to dry, so put water on your hands and roll. And if you've started over a couple times because coils are sometimes kind of a bummer to work with, just grab some new clay for yourself. Not like it's our reclaimed clay, but just grab some different clay and put that stuff back. So those are kind of coils. People had questions about firing, like how long does it take to fire? So once and when we fire, once we have enough to fill the kiln and enough that's dry. So we let all your projects dry out. And some of those pumpkins were a little bit thicker and they're in closed forms, right? Even with the moisture vent, that's for moisture at a different level. But so that just takes time to dry. Once we start firing, that kiln room does heat up. I think sometimes as high as like 90 degrees inside when both kilns are running, and so that just warmer environment helps dry things out. The kiln we do a 12-hour, we fire it slowly, and that takes about 12 hours. And then depending on the kiln we use, it takes a day to 2 or 3 days to cool down. And sometimes, like with the pumpkins, I did a 6-hour preheat, so it holds it just below 200 Fahrenheit, so that as much moisture can leave, right? Because 212 Fahrenheit is when water turns to steam. So, and then pinch pot, coil pot, that doesn't make a difference in terms of the firing process or the firing times. It's just like thicker or thinner clays. We have ceramics 4, so you can take ceramics 1, which most of you are in now, ceramics 2, ceramics 3, and ceramics 4. So if you come in as a freshman, you could take it all 4 years if you wanted to. So kind of sweet. We do have one student who is in 3rd year now and has told me anyway that they're planning to come back for a 4th year, which I think is pretty cool. He's not a fool. All right. Next up, the next project is gonna be a slab project. For the final project, we're gonna have a project and some quiz questions. Let's see, coils done. How do I make my art more unique? That was a nice question. And then some people like pointed out like, hey, I could use a stencil. They found there are letter tools for impressing words and initials into clay. Someone asked about wax resist. Yes, we have wax, so that's a decorating technique that we can talk about. And then someone else had used a rock and a spoon, and you can use a lot of different tools to burnish. And burnishing is like best on like hard leather, like dry, almost dry. And you're just rubbing the clay a lot, and it gets a kind of a sheen to the surface. We can talk more about that. I had a question about the wheel. Just takes firm pressure to keep that on there. All right, someone else had, it says pipe whipped cream. I don't know if that's like a typo. I don't know what you mean. Maybe like piping with icing, like frosting on a cake. We do have stuff like that. That's next door on Harada side. But you can make some decorative cake like, that's like whipped cream. We don't want to have you making pipes, so I'm pretty sure that's not what you're asking about. I think that's about it. We're finishing up, we should be finishing up coil pots this week. We'll move on to slab. I think we'll do slab, and then when everyone's done, all the pumpkins are done through firing, then we'll talk about glazing. And then last kind of random ones. If you communicate with people at your table, the table can get cleaner because you're talking about who's doing what. I have had duck. It's not my favorite, but I've tried it a couple times. Someone said you should show my Aunt Robbie's pot. I think that's going to be a different video. Maybe I'll show you some mugs that I have or some cups that I have. I got a little travel cup with this cool hedgehog that I liked. And don't forget to smile. Oh yeah, but I think these will be different videos maybe. Try a midweek study break. Okay? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smile.